It's easier to launch a new product under your existing Amazon brand rather than to build a new brand from the scratch. This way, you can easily cross-sell and upsell your products with each other. But when it comes to PPC, you need to be careful and avoid the new products winning the bids over the old ones and vice versa. In this video, our guest Tariq from M19 will teach you smart strategies on how to use different ad types for your newly launched products. If you want to try M19 software for yourself, which helps to automate Amazon PPC advertising, find the link below in the description.
Hi Tariq, I'm really happy to have you back here on OrangeClick YouTube channel to talk about Amazon advertising, and more specifically today we'll talk about how brand owners who already sell some products under an existing brand could launch new products and could use those existing products to do some advertising techniques and strategies. But before we go into the details, could you first introduce yourself and also let us know how M19 helps Amazon sellers?
Hello, Lisette. Thank you for having me here again another time. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of M19. We are a software company. We provide a platform, an automation platform and optimization platform for all Amazon advertising, like sponsored products, brands, and display. In our platform, there are also a bunch of other tools for reporting, keyword tracking, keyword extraction, share of voice, etc. So we believe that to do proper PPC, you need to have a set of tools around your PPC automation tool. So what we do is completely machine learning based. So it's statistics. Basically, it just look at data at search term ASIN level, what is performing, what is not, and it's adjusting the bids and extracting the keywords accordingly. And what we do best in our field is that we don't take only into account PPC data like clicks, sales, etc., but we are also able to take into account inventory level data, profit data, even organic ranking data in order to make smart PPC investments based on organic. So this is our tool, and this is me. I have an engineering background, and I'm running the company for the last 4 years.
Thank you very much for your introduction. So as a first question I would ask, is it easier to launch new products under an existing brand, which is maybe similar to the products that the seller is already selling, versus launching a totally new product which is not connected at all to the products which are already available for Amazon customers?
Yes. So the answer is yes. It's easier to start a new product that is in the same category under the same brand and sometimes as a variation of an existing product for a lot of different reasons. So not only PPC, that I will show you how to do it, and I will explain why it's easier, but also on other areas like for packaging, for how you store, what the size you decide for your variation to be. The product listing also is easier to build because you have already a starting point that you start from. And also, you know already your category, you know your competitors, you know where search volume is happening. So because of all these reasons, it's way easier, in my opinion, to start a new product on an existing brand or an existing category that you are already selling in.
But is there any difference between launching like a variation under an existing parent ASIN or launching a totally new parent ASIN?
Yes. So in order to understand well the difference between starting as a variation or as a new parent ASIN, so you start as a child ASIN or as a parent ASIN. The main difference is, first, it's not the case for all categories, but most of them, you leverage your existing reviews. So when you start with a child ASIN within a group and you are in a category where you can merge child, when they are merged automatically from day one, the child new ASIN will benefit from existing reviews that will help for reassuring the customer and the conversion. So this is a benefit of starting under an existing parent. The downside of starting under an existing parent is when you do PPC, usually you are not able to have two sponsored spots with two variations from the same parent. So usually Amazon will, even if you promote these two variations, usually Amazon will allow only one of these two variations, the new one and the existing one, to be displayed. So it's sometimes tricky because existing products are easier to promote. You don't need to pay that much for them to promote it. So if you decide not to split or to start as a child ASIN of a parent, you will need to make sure that your existing variation either have low bids, you go reduce the bids, or you even sometimes you need to stop advertising on the keywords you want to push on the new variations, because it's always the established variation that will be getting the impression, not the new one. And of course, if you start with a split version with a new parent, you don't need to go change your existing PPC for your existing product.
Are there any campaign types that Amazon sellers could take advantage of, considering they might have products which are already selling well, have a couple of hundred reviews, and then they now have this new product, maybe with only 20 reviews in the beginning? Would you recommend to use certain advertising types?
So yes, so the easiest one and the most effective one to do is sponsored product targeting. So you just need to all the relevant product from your existing catalog brand that you think are relevant to the new one that you are starting. You target them in product targeting in a manual campaign in sponsored product. So the idea is to try to cross-sell. So whenever there is someone that is looking at your product page, because you are able to drive either organically or sponsoredly a traffic to an existing product that has a lot of traffic or a lot of reviews, as you said, you will be able to showcase your new product below. So you will do two things here. You will do brand protection, because you will kind of block your competitors from displaying their product on your top sellers or high reviews product by displaying your new products. And also it's an opportunity for the new ones to get exposure and to get sales. The other thing is usually to win the product placement positions. Usually it's cheaper for the same brand to have them compared to competition. So compared to a competitor, you might get the same slot on your own product pages for established product with a cheaper price compared to competitors. So the first type of campaigns I'm always recommending in these cases is manual targeting, doing product targeting on all your existing products that are relevant to the new one that you are starting.
I have one question about those product targeting ads. So how relevant should those products be? For example, if I sell pet supplies and I already sell some kind of product for dogs, and now I'll launch a similar product for cats. For example, in my example, I think those would be relevant because a lot of dog owners probably also have cats.
Yeah. So what I'm always saying is, if you think that the person who is looking at whatever product, a pet product, might be interested in buying your other product, it's always buying, not clicking. Yes, you need to do it. Otherwise, no. Why? Because first, if there is no buying intention that you think will be happening on someone that is looking at your main product, they might click, and you will end up paying costs with no sales, and you will show Amazon a low conversion rate, and in the next days it will be harder for you to be displayed on these positions unless you are continuously increasing the bid to kind of offset this drop of conversion rate that is happening. So the key thing to keep in mind is there is no need to force any product to be displayed somewhere if there are no conversions, because it will be very a short-term game. You might be displayed there, you might spend and lose money there. But for the long term, Amazon will kick you out unless you keep increasing your cost. Thing that I don't think you will be willing to do, increasing cost without having sales. So in order to avoid this period, just display relevant products that you think a user who is looking to your main product might be buying. Even if sometimes it can be the same category, but it's completely like unrelated. Some brands are selling, let's say, Calmine sprays for pets, Calmine sprays for dogs, Calmine sprays for cats. Usually people don't have cats and dogs in the same house. So the one that is looking at Calmine sprays for dogs, you don't want to push your Calmine sprays for cat. Even if it's the same brand, it's the same type of product, you have everything the same, but it's just the person that is looking for dogs is not the same that is looking for these products for cats.
Actually, now listening to you, I totally agree with you. And I think I made a totally wrong assumption about dog owners because I have never been a dog owner myself. So thinking that dog owners have cats is actually probably incorrect.
Maybe it's a cultural thing. In some countries, at least in the countries where I lived here in Europe, it's not very common to mix the two. Maybe in the US or in some other countries, it's different. But
so actually, it's a good example how Amazon sellers shouldn't assume anything. Rather, they should try to gather some data and make their decisions based on that. So before you wanted to share something else in addition to this product targeting strategy. So what was it?
So the second type of campaigns that can be used in this case is sponsored display campaigns, where you can retarget users that viewed your products over the last 30 days. So be careful not to go for people who bought your products. Again, it depends on what you are selling. If you are selling smartphone and cases, yes, it makes sense and your new product is a case, you might want to target people that bought your smartphones over the last 30 days. But most of the cases, it's not complementary purchase. It's more alternative purchase, where you can use sponsored display to show your new product for people that saw your existing product over the last 30 days and didn't buy. So this is also a nice type of campaigns that you can use for new products to be launched.
So for sponsored display ads, what would you say, what should be the objective towards what sellers should optimize their campaigns to? Is it to get sales, or is it rather to raise the brand awareness?
So yes, I think also what you might be referring to is the new optimization campaigns that are optimized to views, like VCPM, sponsored display campaigns. Honestly, it's a personal opinion. So the format of sponsored display, the placement that you get access to with sponsored display, I still see it as a performance marketing type. So you need to be looking at your return on ad spend, ROAS or ACOS. For me, it's not an awareness format. It's not like a sponsored brand or DSP format. So for me, it's a performance format. You want to pay attention and to follow your ACOS. This is what you optimize for. And another advice is also you want to go for cost per click campaigns, not VCPM campaigns, because they will attribute sales to people that just view the ad and didn't even click on it. So you might end up seeing not artificially because it's another sales attribution, but from the outside, the results might look very nice, but it's basically because of the CPM accounting, like someone that saw an ad that didn't even click, you get charged for it. And if a sale is happen, you will see this sale reported on these campaigns. I don't recommend that type of campaigns.
Good insight. So, what about sponsored brand ads? Is there any strategy that sellers could use to use that kind of ad types?
There are some that use it to launch a new product. This is not something I would recommend. I would only go for sponsored product and sponsored display. But if you want to do it also with the sponsored brand, the way to do it is to bundle with existing products that are very similar. You know, the headline, you use the headline type, not the video type or spotlight where you just choose one ASIN. You need the types that where you choose 3 ASINs. So you just bundle it with high sellers, like nice looking ones that are converting, either because of reviews or because of their image, because you know that it's converting. And you use one of the 3 spots with the new product. It can be also a third option that you can use to promote a new product.
So considering what we have discussed so far, would you say sellers need a bigger budget to launch a product to an existing brand, or rather it's actually cheaper for them because they already have some established products on the market and they could use those to their advantage?
Yeah, in general, so I don't have any exact data to prove it, but it should be cheaper because of cross-selling that will cost you less than product targeting competitors. So if you compare product targeting your own product and product targeting your competitor, it's cheaper to go for yours. So this will make that type of launch cheaper. And sponsored display, it's the same. It will cost you less by going after users that saw your product and didn't bought compared to saw other competitors and didn't. But it doesn't mean that you cannot do also going for competitors. You can do it as well. But you have an option to get something for cheaper. And the rest for keyword targeting that I will go for now and explain, the cost should be the same. It doesn't change anything in terms of cost. What it will change is the process of finding this keyword and prioritizing these keywords to go for, because you already have data on it from your existing campaigns. It's more, the process is easier, it's clearer, more straightforward, rather than the cost of PPC when you do keyword targeting for a new launch.
Okay, could you give us a little bit more of information about how to work with those keywords?
Yeah. First, you need to define the list of keywords you want to go for. I always recommend for a launch to focus on a short list of keywords, maximum 10. They should be always targeted in exact. Manual campaigns, exact match. Doesn't matter if you split it single keyword campaign or group couple, as long as you know what you are doing and you have a specific bid for each keyword. There are a lot of people claiming that it should be single keyword campaign. It won't hurt, but for me, from the experiments we did, it's not mandatory. Then, how to find these keywords? You have basically two ways that you need to combine. The first one is you start with your sponsored product search term reports. This is the starting point. You download, since you have similar ASINs that are relevant, you download search term reports for these ASINs, and you sort and you order based on sales all the keywords, all the search terms for these similar ASINs. Now you have a first list. Second, you need to go for the search query performance reports. So it's a new type of report that was released a couple of months ago, that is accessible for any seller that has a registered brand. And this is the first report on Amazon where you can not only get PPC data at search term level, but also organic data at search term level. So for any ASIN or group of ASIN, you can see the search term, for example, Calmine spray for dog. You can see how many impressions you got, sponsored and organic, how much sales you got, sponsored plus organic. When you look at your search term report in PPC, you only have sponsored. Why it is important to use those reports? Two reasons. The first one is you will know what is the market size of a search term. You have the search volume, the exact search volume from Amazon. For example, calming spray for dogs or dog calming spray. For each one of these two variations, Amazon will give you in this report how many searches are happening in a week or in a month or in a quarter for these two variations. So you can prioritize the one that has the highest search volume. This is one. Second is you can also see if you are missing on some search terms that you don't see in your search query in your search term PPC report, because either you are not doing PPC on it, you forgot or whatever, or you don't have the right level of bidding. If, for example, search the keyword calming spray for dog, you are bidding $1 and all the competition is bidding around $2. When you look at your PPC data, you won't see this search term. You are not getting any PPC impression on it because you are not competitive. So you might miss it. Using search query performance, you will get all relevant keywords, even the ones that you are not bidding enough on or that you forgot to target. So with this second report, you will find if you are missing something, and you will also have a second ordering based on search volume, not only on your PPC sales that are happening. From these two, you will come up with a list of 10 keywords. This 10 keywords, you target them in manual campaigns. So this is how how you prepare the campaigns for your new product. Then the tricky part is, as I said in the beginning, if a keyword is relevant for your new and existing product, you will be competing for the same keyword. So you have two options. Either you keep it like this and your existing product, it's most likely that it will get the impressions that the new want, unless you go for a crazy bid for the new one, and you might end up paying a crazy money for it. Or you need to reduce or stop PPC on the existing one. Think also that most of cases you don't want to do because you don't want to hurt your existing product. What I recommend to do is say, okay, let's look for keywords where I can afford reducing or stopping bidding on my existing established product without hurting them that much. What you do is you look at your organic rankings. So your established product, this list of 10 keywords, you look at the organic rank on this list of 10 keywords. Any keyword where your established product is already on top positions, like first line desktop or first 4 positions mobile, like top 4 organic. If you are already organically top 4, go and reduce drastically, divide by 2, 3, or 4 your bids on your existing products. It will do two things. Either you will stick in the first position sponsored, but you will pay just way less, which is already good. Or because you reduce the bid a lot, your sponsored position will drop, but it's not a big problem because you are already there organically. And you will give more chances to the new one to go occupy this sponsored position with a lower cost, because you are not getting it with the bid of existing, because you reduce the bid. But be careful. What you need to be very careful about is if there is any negative impact on your organic rank for the keyword that you reduce the bid on for the established product, you need to react fast and repush again the bids up to go recover your organic.
Yeah, it actually makes sense, but it doesn't seem too easy. So how often should sellers look into that kind of campaigns during that period of time?
Thank you, because now you just explained why in most of cases you need some automation tool in a way or another. there are some tasks. As soon as you want to do advanced PPC management and optimization, it will become impossible or a nightmare to do for a human because it's daily thousands of actions. So honestly, I don't know how to, unless you have a very limited amount of keywords and asins and you go check that. It depends on the budget. If you have crazy budget, you need to check it every day. If we are talking about like $100 spent a week, it's a big budget. You can afford to do it once a week. But what I would recommend is go look for the right tool to help with that type of automation that is able to monitor and track your rankings inside the tool and do the bidding in the tool, and that is able to combine these two in one place in an automated way.
So basically this is how M19 helps Amazon sellers, or what are the other most important features? Because I think now is a good time to talk a little bit about M19 as well.
Yes, this is definitely one of the features that our software is providing. We think that it's very important because times are getting more difficult and harder. Like margins are smaller for sellers, so we need to find ways to improve how we manage PPC. And if we can reduce PPC where we are already well established organically, it's good because we reduce the cost, we give the opportunity to new products, and not only new products, also existing products that are weaker than the well-established one. We give them an opportunity to be pushed. But we need to be very cautious that on not hurting the established ones. So yes, this is one of the features we provide. The second one that is also very important is in the same philosophy, is being very reactive about sales velocity and inventory levels. So whenever there is a risk of running out of stock, whenever we see that risk, we need to react fast and reduce and stop PPC, and react fast also and reactivate it as soon as either we have inbound or stock is available. It depends on the seller philosophy. If he wants to start promoting with inbound, you can have the buy box stating that you can buy this product, but just delivery time is higher. So it depends on the brand. Sometimes it hurts a lot conversion rate, sometimes it's not. So it depends on the category. So this is the second thing that is also very important to do properly with PPC, is managing inventory level to avoid risk of stock. And if there is a risk of running out of stock, you want to do your last sales in a way more profitable way with no PPC.
So those days are probably over where Amazon sellers could manage their PPC campaigns only with a couple of hours in 1 week.
Yeah, exactly. So either you do it with a tool and it takes you, I don't know, 1 or 2 hours a week, or you want to do it manually and it's dozens of hours a week, and I'm not sure you are able to do it properly.
So Tariq, is there anything else you would like to share with sellers who are brand owners and who are soon in the process of launching new products to their existing product line?
No, I will just go back to the rankings topic. So whenever ranking and market opportunity, you always need to think with these two. It's focus on a short list, know the potential of each one of these items from your shortlist, and track your ranking and manage your PPC accordingly. Of course, not only PPC, not only rankings, but you have also the budget and your margin that is also helping you steer.
Very good point. So before we wrap up, could you once more let us know what's the best way to read more about M19 and get in touch with you?
Yes, so the best way to reach is go directly on to our website. There should be a link below in the video, I guess, that redirects to our website. We offer free tests, so you can test with yourself. And even if you decide to go for the advanced version of the tool or the paying versions, so it's risk-free, no commitment. We don't touch existing campaigns, etc. So we are very reactive. The support also and the onboarding can be very fast. So if you want to give it a try, just go on our website on the link below, and we'll be happy to offer you a free test.
Awesome. Thanks again for sharing your expertise and joining me today. And I hope to see you soon again.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
I hope this video gave you many takeaways for your Amazon advertising campaigns. If you want to try M19 tool for your Amazon PPC management, you will find the link below in the description. And finally, don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons below this player. For more content we create for you, Amazon sellers. And now I invite you to watch other video with Tariq, where he explains how to fix Amazon PPC product targeting and advertising bidding.